Welcome to Same Spit, Different Face TV. Well, my opinions is facts, and if you don't like my opinions, you can start your own podcast. And it's free. So don't forget to spit on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification. Now, Meek Mill finally addressed the story that was put out by LUCE over a year ago about him basically seeing Meek Mill in the club. The security that was with him turned their back. He grabbed Meek Mill up. He took his chain. He made a call to Rick Ross and told him we need $50,000 for it. Now, Whack 100 is basically saying this never happened, but we don't know if it happened or not. And then a lot of people is basically saying, yo, this is when Meek Mill got cool with Nipsey Hussle after this happened, because probably he tapped in with Nipsey, let him know what was going on. And Nipsey, we know by this time, was at odds with Big U because of all the things that was going on and how Big U was trying to control his career and wasn't trying to let him go. If y'all don't know the Nipsey backstory, Nipsey was signed to Big U. Then Nipsey ended up going out to LA to take a meeting. And basically, because of the reputation and some of the things that Big U was allegedly into, Nipsey Hussle said he wanted to get away from that so his career could elevate and he can go in a different route and start doing different things. But anyway, back to the chain robbery. Now, Meek Mill basically spoke out against this and said that it's cap, said that it's federal, said that it never happened. Now, it's two things that happened from this situation. One, that kind of helped LUCE because LUCE is basically on here for a bunch of things that he said on social media. So maybe if his lawyer can prove that he's lying about this situation, or say, hey, he came out and said this, but the artist who he said it about came out and said it was a lie. This is just my client boasting online, trying to get up his internet reputation so he can get more money, get more pictures, get more clout, and that way he can essentially make more money than he's able to make now, and his brand can become bigger, which allows him to make more money. So that's good for him that Meek Mill came out and said that, because it actually helps his case when the feds are trying to say he was doing things on behalf of Big U, robberies and all of that. And if you LUCE lawyer, and you can make the jury believe that, hey, he is only doing this because he wants the attention. It's clear that if he's lying about this, he must be lying about everything else, because it's just attention he's trying to get. And the lawyer can say, yo, yeah, he probably painted himself in a bad picture, in a bad light. These are probably things he shouldn't have been saying, but he's an entertainer, and how else can he get attention on himself unless he says something salacious to get the people to pay attention to him? And the more he says, the more he get booked for these interviews, the more money it goes up, the more views he get online, etc., right? But the second part to this that's important for Meek Mill is that anytime Meek Mill comes on the internet and say something, people try to clown him about it. And one thing that stood out to me is that LUCE said this about a year ago. He said this about, well, maybe close, between 6 months and a year, let's just say that. But the thing that I don't like about it is that he waited until LUCE got locked up to address it. And that gives kind of some validity to the situation. Obviously, LUCE is being locked up for things he said on social media. So when you look at LUCE he's not finna be out here trying to say, oh yeah, I did do that, he know what I did. Now maybe after he gets sentenced, he can come back and speak on it and say something if he get found guilty, and be like, yeah, Meek, you know what happened to you, etc., etc., right? But in the grand scheme of things right now, Meek Mill should have just kept letting this fly under the radar. And in his statement, he says something about like, oh, the feds and something like that. It was kind of like a weird statement for a rapper who basically has a bad PR or public image on the internet. I felt like Meek Mill ignored this while LUCE was out. He should have just kept ignoring it now. So if you're a casual fan, somebody who don't like Meek Mill, somebody who probably do like Meek Mill, you would start to question like, okay, why has this interview been out for so long, but now he finally saying something after this guy's locked up? And you can look at that two ways. You can say, oh, he thorough, he don't want this guy locked up, he trying to keep it in the streets, like he on his side. But most people gonna look at it and say, oh, he was scared of this guy the whole time he was on the streets. Now, if you want more updates about this Meek Mill and LUCE situation, you definitely got to hit the subscribe button. And you made it this far in the video, you might as well hit the like button. Check out my original Chicago hood movie in the end screen, No Time to Play Fair. If you into sneakers, you a sneakerhead, you love seeing the new Jordans, Pumas, whatever it may be, Subscribe to Kicking It with Fairplay 2333. If you're trying to follow me on my basketball journey, my weightlifting and fitness journey, and also be inspired to get back on your fitness journey, subscribe to Fairplay, Flex, and Fadeaway. Also, any of these pages I just named, you can also find them on TikTok or Instagram.